Great. Dr. Neinstein, how are we doing this morning? I actually gave you an intro. I put one together for you real quick. Board certified by the American Board Academy of Plastic Surgery. Dr. Neinstein has performed over 10,000 tummy tucks, tracking patients from 6 continents.
All
And
right,
considered
did our
among the
internet
world's
just take
top
a
cosmetic
breather here?
surgeons. His New York. What was that? What happened?
You were frozen for a second, but now you're back.
Shoot. Okay. This was the okay. I see. Yeah, it froze for just a second there.
You looked great. You looked great. The Botox was working.
Botox. I don't have Botox.
Kidding. The freeze frame looked great on you, though.
The Froze Talks. His New York-based practice is recognized internationally as a premier destination for advanced body contouring, including acclaimed modern mommy makeover and precision surgeries of the face, breasts, and body. Dr. Neinstein lectures globally, publishes extensively in peer-reviewed journals, and has contributed to textbooks that set the benchmark for advanced plastic surgery techniques. Beyond surgery, he, right here, channels his strategic mindset into ventures spanning biotech, cryptocurrency, spirits, real estate, reflecting his drive to motivate far beyond the operating room. So we got you on. What's going on? We got some Starbucks there? What do you get?
We got Starbucks. We're fueled up. We're ready to go. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be on your podcast today. I've been following you for like the last year, and I loved your content. And I see a lot of myself in you. You got a lot of energy, and you got a lot of purpose in you woven into your DNA, and that comes through on your social, which is very authentic. And it's very hard to find that authentic purpose just bleed through the screen, and you can see it with you. And, what I really like about your social, and one of the reasons I reached out, you're giving people reality and you're educating, and there's no fluff with you. I don't see the TikTok dances, and not that there's anything wrong with that entertainment, but like you're becoming a surgeon, and not that you can't have, be funny and be humorous, but like, your social media is about sharing what you do, why you do it, and, how it's going to impact people. And it's great. And I like it. And that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out to this guy because I want to connect. And you're going to be in Long Island. So you're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the city.
Yeah. And I'm right near you. You're in between here in the Hamptons, right? You're in Manhattan right now?
I'm in the city. I mean, we have 2 offices in the city. We have our surgical center and a clinical office. And then, some weekends I'm out in Long Island with the family.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that looked like a really nice spot you got there. So tell me, run through this day. I saw that you were up at 4 a.m. What were you doing up at 4 a.m.?
So, I get up at 4 every day. And that has been, I think, part of my secret sauce. And it's something I've developed since I've been in practice. I tell people, and like I would tell you, if you think training was hard, you don't even know what work is. Like literally, I tell people, like, you don't even know what work is, because training is training. Now you're in the big leagues, but the work has so much more purpose. So I get up very early to get a jump on the day. Like this, listen, I don't like whatever morning routine works for you. Okay. So like I get up, the first thing I do is I read every day, and it's audiobook. I got to get the mind moving. So I do an audiobook while I'm getting ready. I just get moving, get the brain moving. Like it is proven. You don't need me to cite data. Like if you get your brain moving, your day's going to be a lot better. And I get my brain moving, I'm taking my vitamins, doing my coffee, clearing my inbox, and then I'm off to the gym. So like by 5:30 in the morning, I've got my brain moving, my body moving. Like I'm starting to stack wins. Like we're putting ourselves in a position to win. Okay.
Love it.
So like if you get rolling like that, it's just a snowball effect. The other thing is, if you're going to lead the team as the surgeon, you got to lead by example. So, when my team sees, hey, I'm up, I'm reading, I'm working out, they're going to want to do the same. If you're like the guy who rolls out of bed because he was out late, looks like a schlub, dressed like a schlub, guess what? That's what your team's going to do. Okay. Yeah. So I got a bunch of crazy people just like me working for me, and we're over 40 now, because high achievers like high achievers, and high achievers do not like mediocre people. So if a mediocre person came on this team, they're going to hate us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you'll see, it's not for everyone, this life, because like I like to go to bed early, and I don't need to go out and run around like anymore. I like being rested and restful. Like we're surgeons. It's nice to be really dialed in when we get into an operating room, mentally and physically.
What time are you going to bed? You say early. How early is early?
I go to bed like 9, maybe 10. Like, I'm also blessed. Listen, I'm okay. 5 to 6 hours of sleep, I'm good. Like I know people need more. I don't. My internal, I just hum at a different rate. it just is what it is.
Yeah, the energy is contagious in a great way, right?
Yeah. But I listen, and I do it on the weekends too. Sometimes I sleep in a little, but like reading, and I do audio so I can keep moving. Podcast, books, listen, like constantly learning and reading wide and far, philosophy, psychology, art, biographies. I love biographies of founders, and like not just the ones everyone reads like Steve Jobs, but like,
Yeah.
if someone asks, I'm like, read Edwin Land, the guy who figured out Kodak. That was Steve Jobs' inspiration as a human. Like, read that book and tell me your life didn't change. I don't believe you. This is a guy who came over like as a an immigrant and invented figured out polarized light to make a camera. And, yesterday I was telling someone to read The Fish That Ate the Whale about Samuel Zamora. This is an 11-year-old kid who came from Russia and figured out how to deliver produce in America. Like, you're welcome if you ever had a mango or a banana. But these are the kind of stories I want to read and inspire me. I just read the Rosenberg. You don't even know who that is. That's the guy who founded Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, that'll blow your mind, that story. I mean, the ups, the downs. It's like a Greek tragedy. I mean, but
Wait, this is amazing. Is that what you just finished? What are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading The Path to Sparta, actually. And what it is, I know everyone likes the Roman Empire and Greek philosophy, but The Path to Sparta is about, I can't say his name right, Phidippides. Yeah. And it's about, people think marathon came from, run, but marathon's actually is like fennel, because when the Persians arrived in Greece, they came to a fennel field, and then this guy literally ran like 240 miles to warn everyone, and then he collapsed and died. And it's like and that's where marathon came from. But it's like, it's just amazing stories. That's what I'm reading right now. But I always have a few things going. I have something interesting like that, and then I'll have like just work related stuff, like just happen to have on my desk, like Radical Candor. This is a book that's required reading in my office. This is basically how to talk to each other in a modern world in the office. And then The Speed of Trust, I really like. We kind of break up within teams. Within our big team, we have little teams. And, each little team it's like a bunk at a summer camp. Like, we have our own language. Like, I could just look at one of my nurses and I know what she's thinking, right? Because there's trust. And when we have this trust, we can act with speed. Like, I can look at a patient, bounce my eyes over to my nurses, and they know what I'm thinking based on my eyes. So we can move a lot quicker. And also, just when they're acting, as an agent of mine, I know what they're doing, why they're doing it. So you'll see this as you get rolling here. I'm interested in, tell me about you as you're starting, going from training into practice.
Yeah, I get another month and a half off. I just start in the middle of August. It's a private practice. So it'll be out on Long Island in Melville. I signed a deal where it's a multi-practice owned by one oral surgeon, and he's got like 7-8 offices and 7-8 offices.
And I work for someone too. Shout out Bobby Buca. I mean, I think it's really important when you come out of training to work for someone, hopefully someone you admire, who can, inspire you and foster your growth. And, when surgeons come on board here, I talk about this concept of intrapreneurs and entrepreneurs. I'm the entrepreneur, but like when you come on, I tell them like, hey, you're an intrapreneur. Like, we're really starting a new business within the business. And I want you to really think of that. You really get to be an entrepreneur without the risk at the beginning.
True.
You got to think about it like a business. When surgeons come on, like I don't want you to think like you're an employee. Like, you are now my colleague, and we are starting a new business for you. And, you have to think like that as an entrepreneur. Like, and if people are always like, oh, I need to be on my own. I'm like, well, Steve Ballmer, worked for Bill Gates, and he owns the Clippers. Frick down the street has the, one of the best museums in the world. And he worked for a guy named Andrew Carnegie. So you can do better, sometimes if you're just in, the right spot. Warren Buffett always said, it's not how hard you row, it's what boat you're in.
I love this. You are a wealth of knowledge. Where do you come across these? Is it always audiobooks, or because then you can stay moving? I love the audio.
I always do audio. I mean, I have this, I don't know. There's something, I like to usually buy the books as well and do the audio. And then there's something tactical. Sometimes if I hear something, I just got to look at it. But
you gotta send me some of this material.
Yeah, we have a book of the month. We used to do book of the month, and now in the office, now we do podcast of the month, because I listened to my team and they were like, Doc, we love that you read a book, like 5 books a week, but like, we're not gonna do that. So I'm like, okay, listen, because all I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to make people read books. I'm trying to stimulate growth and discussion.
Right.
So
Right.
now we just pick a podcast that covers whatever topic we want to cover, and we roll with that, and my staff love it. So you don't have to have book of the month, you just find, listen, they're younger, not that I'm so old, but like they like podcasts, and like, so we do podcasts, and it's all we're trying to do is like light a fire for a discussion which leads to growth. That's it. Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah. How old
you'll
are you?
see in practice, you have to reinvent yourself all the time. You have to make yourself, you have to knock yourself off, otherwise someone else will.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Reinvent yourself. When was the last time have you reinvented yourself in a different way? Have you implemented a new
Well,
strategy?
look,
How long have you been
for
getting up at
instance, I have a big surgical center in Bergdorf, overlooking Central Park, and we're knocking it down right now and redoing it. Like it needed a facelift or a mommy makeover. A lot of people, wear their ORs down, for 25 years before they do anything. And we're like, I think I got it. I can't remember, but like, I think it was one of the books of restaurants, probably Danny Meyer.
Yeah.
He turns over his whole restaurant like every 4 or 5 years, no matter how successful they are. It's like, you got to flip it over and update. So we're doing that with our operating room. Hopefully it'll be ready in a week or two, but we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, can I ask how old you are? Because you have a couple kids, right?
I am 44. I have 2 kids. It gave me I had kids late in life. 39 was when I had my first kid, but I was busy. I wish I had them younger. I mean, because then I could have more of them. But it's just like I was slammed in residency, and like my plate, I was where I was in life. But I'll tell you, as a surgeon, someone, especially someone who does mommy makeovers all day, it gives me a lot of perspective. I get to see my wife and the kids, and like, I understand why a lot of, one of the big fears of patients are that are like, hey, like, am I taking a risk? Like something could happen to me in surgery and take me away from my kids, or should I even be spending this money that I could spend on my kid? I have a better empathy, sympathy, just connectedness to my patients now that I'm a father. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you meet
I
your
speak
wife?
their language. I speak
Right.
them.
Right. And that relationship so you knock out a ton of stuff in the morning. So when you come home at the end of the day, you have time, you have family time, but you didn't get out till
I
like
have to say, I'm
7 o'clock last
gassed.
night.
I'm gassed at the end of the day. I'm gassed. Like, because my day starts about 4, ends about 8. So, that's a 16-hour day of straight go every day. I'm happy to do it. I'm grateful that, I'm busy enough that I can work an 80-hour work week every week, but I'm gassed at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
that is a fault of mine. When my wife wants to chat, I'm like, you know what I don't want to do right now? But God bless her for being so tolerant of me.
Yeah. Did you guys meet recently? Was that right before your
So
kids?
we
Was it
met on a
residency?
yoga retreat.
Oh, no way. Where was this yoga retreat?
It was in Madeiras Village, which was in, I can't remember which South American country, but like I just needed something different. I didn't want to go on another vacation, like go to Miami or go to Vegas or do the usual. I was like, I want to do something different. So me and my buddy were like, found this yoga retreat actually through a patient called Yoga for Bad People. It was kind of like, hey, this isn't yoga where, a silent retreat. It was like a fun yoga retreat. And I met my wife, and, I was, this 7, 8 years ago now. And like, things moved quickly because we were older, and I didn't need to futz around. Like we were engaged within 6 months, and, off to the races.
Off to the races. I like that. Yeah, and everything's alive and well. Is she in medicine? Is she in healthcare?
No, she's a personal trainer. She had this great brand called Legs by Lauren. She taught a class like focused on legs and butt, and she was kind of like the Victoria's Secret Angels go-to trainer. And now she's really focused, she's at home because, me and my kids need like a full-time person because, she takes care of everything. God bless her. Like, I don't even know where my clothes are. I don't know how to order food. Listen, it's like you really divide and conquer, right? Like she really runs my life and our family's life and deals with everything. And that's full time, but that allows me to go all in. Like,
That's
and,
right.
I think it's interesting for you. One of the things I think people overlook, and I talk about this with other like founders who I meet, is the spouse. Okay. Your future, you can want to be, you can be as hard driven or grinding as you want, but like if your spouse isn't on board, like that doesn't work. right?
Right. Right.
So especially when you go into something like surgery, I'm sure it's the same in anything, it's important that you guys are on the same page. And by the way, you don't have to be me. You don't have to be me and my wife where it's like, hey, I'm going to go 100 miles an hour. You take care of everything else. Like,
Right. Right.
you guys may say, we want more of a normal lifestyle, but like you're gonna you're gonna throttle down, you're not gonna operate as much, you're not gonna be as available. But like you gotta be on the same page, because I've seen this time and time again where they're not on the same page.
Right.
Your spouse wants you home at 5 o'clock for dinner, and guess what? That just doesn't happen every day in surgery.
Right, it's not going to happen. And wait, so you didn't get home till late last night, and how do you were in the operating room? You were at least till 7 o'clock. I think I saw.
I was in the OR till 7, and then I was in meetings till almost 11, and then listen, and again, it's not for everyone, but I run a business. We have over 40 full-time staff, and that says all the different C-suites. It's marketing, it's advertising, it's HR, it's strategic planning in the future, finance, and everything. So
Yep.
yeah, I was in the office, meetings till 11, and then up at 4 and go. But like I'm gonna go and spend the next few days, 4th of July, with my kids. So like it's I'm good. Like I don't mind pushing.
Right, squeezing it in before the holiday. How many days you taking off of that? It's just the Friday.
I'm taking more time off now than I ever have. I still don't take a lot of time off. I probably only take, I'll take you'll see as a surgeon, I rarely take a week off. I'm more of like a Friday, Monday, because I don't like going a week without being available in person to see my patients. Obviously we have the nurses and the other surgeons and someone's always around, but just, I like, so I do a lot of these kind of chunky, take a Thursday, Friday, or a Friday, Monday, and you can kind of really throttle down and reboot.
Without being way too long. I like that a lot. And
Yeah, because it's nice. You can see someone on Wednesday and then Monday. It's like you never really listen in surgery. This is a hands-on sport. Okay, like this is not work from home. This is work from work.
yeah,
and
that's true.
Patient, and even though like I can see patients virtually, blah blah, like there's nothing that replaces a doctor being present, physically and emotionally present, putting their hands on you, and being there. And same thing in your field, doesn't matter. Nothing's going to replace that. You're not going to build your practice by doing virtual follow-ups. Like,
right.
One of the things that really sets us apart is our house calls. It's a requirement if you want to work at Neinstein Plastic Surgery that after we do our surgeries and the patients, we have this whole system where patients go from our surgical center to one of our partner hotels with private nursing, but we see you in the morning.
Wow.
We round just like my life is the same as when I was a medical student. It's just fancier, but it's the same. Okay. Like, I read every day. I study. I round every morning. I still do the paperwork. Nothing's changed. It's just, I round in the Plaza Hotel instead of in the hospital, but it's still, but I'm still, but when I'm rounding, by the way, nothing's changed. Have they peed? Have they pooed? Gone to the bathroom? Let's check the incision. Yep. Nothing's different. Listening to their life. It's like nothing's different. Like it's all the same. And it makes it good. That's why training works so well, because you know what you're doing.
You mentioned earlier running a business is much different than residency. What were some of those things that kind of switched that you didn't expect? Some things you had to learn, because you said you're reading and learning every day. What were some of the things that kind of got you into that switch? Really,
Well, and when you're purely medicine, you're really learning, just how to take care of people. Yep. And like everything else is kind of irrelevant. But when you're running a business, you have to generate profit so you can pay people and live. And sometimes, and this is the hardest part in medicine, sometimes profit doesn't align with the way you want to practice. It's challenging. You can't run a medical business the same as any other business. It's just different. So like if you have business consultants and stuff, a lot of times they don't get it. They're like, I see you're doing like a scar revision. Like, why aren't you charging for it? Right. Like, it's like, well, it doesn't look right. And, I don't think the patient should have to pay again to make it look right. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, you're operating. They pay you to operate. And, medicine is just different. It's just
interesting
different
analogy. Yeah.
So I think, and listen, so when there's a lot of doctors who do run their business for profit, which means they will buy like refurbished anesthesia machines versus a brand new one. They will buy, they will cut corners. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So in my office, we don't cut corners. We're not looking for like the cheap generic medication and anesthetic medication. I'm not looking to save a few bucks on my anesthesia machine. I'm just looking, what's the best anesthesia machine? Who's the best anesthesiologist? Right. Because if you do great work and take care of people, the money will take care of itself. Right. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But like, as long as you're in the fight and in the game, it's all good.
Yeah. It sounds like you had said that you worked for, are you an associate of the practice or?
When I started, I was an employee of a practice.
You're a partner now.
Well, now I left there and started my own thing a decade ago. And then now I have my own practice.
Yes. This is your own practice now. So what I wanted to ask was, that certain philosophy that you have, you're not butting heads with anyone else, right? You're bringing on people that either learn or have the same philosophy naturally.
I recruit right out of training, surgeons right out of training. And, it's like it's like a 1 to 2 year vetting process. And I'm looking for emotional intelligence and people who have the same, DNA. Us, we're very collaborative. I'm telling you. I've been a surgeon by myself and I've been a surgeon on a team of surgeons, and it's just better on a team. This is like this is too intense to not have colleagues that are on your side, right? Like, and we all, like, when we look at a patient in the practice, like we're all invested. Like, if I can help or if they can help me, like anything we can all do to bring, wholeness to the patients. It's just and it's just there. When there's a complication or an issue, it's nice to have people on your side helping you. And like, it's just, and there's so much inertia for growth. It's always, in the text chain of the surgeon, it's like, oh, I just read this article. This is so cool. Or like, it's just like, never stop. Like, how do we move forward? And it just doesn't happen when you're on your own. It's like, you want to be with other people. Humans are made to have community, and like having this winning community in your practice is great. I hated being a surgeon it sucked.
Did you feel like you were on an island at the other practice?
Well, when I came out of training, I worked for a practice. That was great. And then after like 2 or 3 years, I went on my own. But when I went on my own, I was by myself. It was me and my coordinator, Bella.
I see what you mean. Yep.
I was the doctor, the nurse. I did everything. And I didn't mind doing everything. And I'm glad I did, because I know everything now. It was more of like, I didn't have any other doctors to talk to all day.
Got it.
Like my wife doesn't want to hear what I think about, some new maneuver in the tummy tucks. Like, and neither does listen, I got friends everywhere around the country, but like, they don't work with me. So like, they don't care. Working as a team, life is better as a surgeon.
Why do you recruit directly out of residency? I'm curious about that. And fellowship too, or no fellowship?
Right, or fellowship. What I'm trying to get is someone who's not been in practice. And not that I believe that they have bad habits, but I like a blank slate.
Interesting.
Because I think my philosophy of practice is just very different than others. And I want them to come in without preconceived notions and maybe bad habits, we see patients more than anyone else. I want
to learn more about this philosophy. Yeah. You said it's a 1 to 2 year vetting process. Can you just, what are the top 3 things you look at for someone coming right out of fellowship or residency? You know what I mean?
Number one, I'm going to speak to everyone, including your high school guidance counselor. Make sure you're nice to everyone, because everyone's nice to me. But are you going to be nice to the cleaning lady and the janitor and the nurses, right? Because
your staff, your team.
That's one. Number 2 is like, really, how committed are you to excellence? Meaning, like, I know this sounds harsh, but like, you don't impress me that you got through, that you were the best student at your high school, that you were the best student in college, that you were the best student in medical school, that you got into plastic surgery. Like, that's a given at this level, right? Like, you're coming to the pros. So like, I don't really care that you were so great then. It's like, how committed are you to being great now and being great forward? Because training was training. But now everything really starts. And are you really dialed in for the long term? Because a lot of people think training is like where all their hard work was in their life. And now they're going to coast as attending. That's not at all. Like, nope. It's just not true. So that's like number 1, or this number 2 is committed to excellence. And then number 3 is really spouse. Like, you can have You can have high emotional intelligence. You could be driven, but like, are you actually able to do what you say you're going to do because you have your family life organized? Because I've seen 1 and 2, but not 3. And then that doesn't work, and that's a disaster. So you got to be all 3.
That's a really good point. I like how you come back to spouse a lot. How do you keep that community? Is it just solely communication?
No, you just got to be, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be obnoxiously honest with you.
Yeah.
I need to talk to your spouse, and I'm going to say, him, her, whatever. If they're going to come work, if your spouse comes to work with us, they're going to work a lot. They are. And there's going to be times when things come up, and it could be on a birthday or an anniversary or a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, and they got to go. And that's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Listen, I can help your spouse accomplish more than they can ever imagine in life, but they're going to have to work a lot. They have to be available for the patients and the team. They're not going to be home for dinner every day. It's just not. And they're going to be busy, and they have to be available on their phone for the patients.
Yeah.
And I beg, and like, if you're not down with that, just tell me, because I don't want your spouse to be pushing your spouse to do something that he or she can't do. So it's really important, like, because everyone, like I was saying, like, everyone's nice to me and everyone will tell me that they want to really work hard, but it's like, okay, is this all true though? You know, are you actually going to do it? Are you going to be able to do it?
So say I'm in the spot. I'm your number one choice to be coming and working with the practice. Now you're about to talk to my spouse or fiance, for example. What are some of the things you're going to be telling them? Like, what's the work hours?
I'm going to say, like, listen, I'm going to help you I'm going to help you live an amazing life. But like, the next decade's going to be rough.
And what's rough? Like Monday through Friday, weekends, the hour, like, just, you know what I mean? How
80 hours a week, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, I still haven't figured out how to like have a great career and make a great income without working a lot. So
that's true.
Listen,
it's true.
But it doesn't have to be forever, you know, like now that I'm different, but like at a decade, I think you can really start throttling down, because at that point you can start charging more and doing less. And I tell people, like, are you really in for a decade? You got to think, because people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in a decade. Bill Gates said that. So like, I think of everything in 10 years. That's what decades is how the world moves. Like, you're just not going to be able to do much in a year. I don't care who you are. So, you know, I need someone to sign up for a decade of all in. Because if you follow me for a decade and you do what I, you know, lead you to, I guarantee success. You know, you can't lose if you don't quit, you know.
That's right, because you're going to keep going until you win. You're still in your first decade. Have you started your?
I'm like hitting that inflection point.
Right. What do you see going on for your next second decade? Are you going to dial it back a little bit? Because you said you need to be all.
No, I'm dialing it up, but differently. Like, listen, what I've realized is, as I got closer to the end of this decade in practice, I get so much, like, just like watching your kids ride a bike for the first time, or, you know, take steps or accomplish things, read. It's like I get so much internal satisfaction from helping others accomplish things. So like, I want to help more people, not just like surgeons, but nurses and admin, and, you know, help them. And I think I have, you know, one of my best skills, my ability to, you know, attract, retain, and train and grow people's skill set. And that's what I want. So I want to grow and help more people realize their dreams. Surgeons, you know, my admin, they come in, we give them all these skills, you know, from sales to hospitality. And like, I'm like, listen, I'm not expecting you to be here forever, but I am going to give you, if you really work hard while you're here, I'll give you skills that you can take wherever. You know, I expect you guys all to be, you know, too expensive for me in 2 to 3 years. But, you know, not that I love surgery. I love doing surgery, but I just think there has to be more than just like another operation, you know.
100%. 100%. Speaking of operations, you got to over 10,000 tummy tucks. Is that what's your favorite procedure? What's your favorite
tummy tuck? The facelift for the body. It's bubble gum. Listen, it's bubble. Everyone likes it. Okay, it's ice cream. Everyone wants a flat tummy, right? And you know, I think a lot of stuff. You know, I hope other plastic surgeons aren't listening, but I think a lot of plastic surgery is gimmicky and nonsense. And in Jewish, we say mishigas. But I say, you know, I see women, and most of them are not plastic surgery people, but their stomach's been stretched and torn. Okay, like they can't work out. Their core doesn't work. They can't wear even normal clothes because they're, you know, they look pregnant when they're not pregnant. And no diet or exercise will fix it. So they have like what I call a real problem. We fix it and their life is better. And, you know, we do it in such a way that they don't look like they had plastic surgery, but we give them their life back, you know. They feel desirable. and I know, people don't like to talk about it, but like, I mean, if your private parts and your body's really broken, it's nice to feel desirable and to have like a healthy sexual relationship with your spouse. Being able to exercise and actually be able to do it is nice. Health and wellness. Being able to wear clothes normally. I mean, we always share pictures of people in bikinis, but like, it's not about, putting someone back in a bikini. It's giving them confidence that if they want to wear one, they can wear one, but just wearing clothes and feeling normal. And so that's it. That's it. I'm in for the rest of my life. Like, I don't need anything else. As long as people keep having kids, I'm going to keep helping moms get their bodies back. And hopefully, I think the biggest half of my cases are revisions. And I wish there were less revisions because they go to good doctors, well-intentioned surgeons, but they just do old surgeries. And it's like, they don't have a bad result. They just don't have a great result because a lot of, if you still do everything, I'm pretty hyper-focused, but if you still do everything, it's hard to like take each operation to the next level. So they're not giving people what they really want.
Right. Right. What's something that is kind of unexpected that you see other surgeons doing out there today?
Well, the legacy talk really just focuses on the front of the body. Women are loose on the front of the body, the side of their body, and the back of their body. Most of my procedures are
360.
Yeah. Because I don't know a lot of women who are happy when like half or 25% of their problem is solved. Surgery is binary. You win or you lose. Okay. Like nobody, like it's not a success if 25% of your loose skin is gone.
Right. Because those 75%, that's what you're going to be looking at for the years to come. Yeah.
This is high risk stuff. Not high risk, but like if you're going to go to sleep and let someone cut you up, like you should get what you want out of it.
Right. Right.
Like, it's like that way. I'm sure it's the same in yours too. People, if I needed my teeth moved, I would just like, I don't know, I do brace. I don't know if Invisalign or what, I'm sure there's like the half ways, the quarter ways, and then there's the real way,
Yeah. 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 There's so many ways to go about it. What's something that you tell to people that they might not expect going to your surgeries, but they need to know prior? You know what I mean? Something that they might not know going in.
Tell people, nobody, I see a lot of the most, A-type people from every industry from all over the world. And they all think, that they are not going to have, that their healing is going to be special because they're so healthy or they're so wealthy and they have all these. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter who like, we're going to cut your body in half. Okay. You got to actually give yourself the time to heal. Okay. I don't care who you are. There are things you can do to heal easier and better and will help. And obviously we'll offer you everything. But, I have to tell people to slow it down. Like this is a real operation,
Absolutely.
You're not going to be able to be in a boardroom the next day, and I operate on a lot of surgeons, heart surgeons, brain surgeons, orthopedic surgeons, these, real A-type driving women who are inspiring from around the country. And they're like, I'll be fine. I'm like, no, like, you're crazy. Like, you're a brain surgeon. Why are you being so dumb? Like, but so I really try to scare people and, and saying like, this is a big deal. You got to plan for it. You're not going to heal in a week. It's just not. But
I like the video that you sent me where you were saying like, no partying tonight.
Yeah.
And like go to bed early, get up early, get ready for tomorrow. I like that. I really felt like your video was really touching people,
Some people don't take surgery as seriously as we'd like. And that's why I have a big team and we're very aggressive preoperatively, lots of calls. I don't want you running 100 miles an hour and stopping right before your surgery and like being out, eating, drinking, working. You got to throttle down, get mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared. I do big surgery. I don't do little dink and dunk. I'm in there, big operations, real deal. But, we've really built out. And if I was giving people advice, it's like, hey, I'm sure every surgeon's going to be technically good. And if they focus, they're going to get really technically good. But the patient experience is what people remember. Right. And you got to build out your team and you got to find great people and you got to train them and you got to tell them how much you love them and care for them and you got to pay them. Okay, you got to pay them what they're worth so they stay around and keep growing with you. And your patient experience is probably 80% your team and 20% your surgeon.
That's a really good way of looking at it. And that's why you have to build your team.
Well, most things in life are 80-20, so you better have a team that shows the love. We've sent our people to the Disney hospitality school. We got, because you want to sprinkle some Disney magic in your patient experience. We have the swag. One of the things that kind of, I would tell you, it's cool. This kind of happened randomly during patients started making clothes. One of the things we have is the crop top club, meaning like these moms who never wore crop tops, all of a sudden they get a tummy tuck. They're wearing a crop top. So we started a crop top club, and we started giving out these hoodies at surgery that said crop top club. And I was like, you're going to wear this in 6 months. They're like, no way, no way. I'm like, I promise. And that exploded. And we have like 30 different types of hoodies and crop tops we give out. And then now, I don't know if you can see this, we're doing little friendship bracelets.
Yeah.
And, a friend of mine's daughter made these, and they're super cute. And, it's not like, hey, Neinstein plastic surgery. It's just NPS. And we do a lot of these little things that people love to wear. And it's not yelling and screaming plastic surgery, but what it does is just something that reminds them of the special relationship we have with them. And when they think of the special relationship we have with them, they tell people about it.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you get this point to the patient experience? Were these changes implemented when you finally...
I read Danny Meyer's book, Setting the Table. Okay. And I was like, aha, light bulb moment. Like literally, before Danny Meyer, Americans went to restaurants to eat food. After Danny Meyer, they went to dine. Okay.
Ah.
And when he came onto the restaurant scene in the late 70s, early 80s, yeah, he changed it. He brought hospitality to it. And I was like, that's what we got to do to medicine. It's got to be hospitality, because every industry could do it. I know like they don't want to, but it can. Medicine has to happen for people, not to people.
It's brilliant. That's definitely brilliant. What's going on the rest of your day? On a normal week, what days are you in the OR? What days are you seeing consults, follow-ups? I'm curious.
I usually am in the OR Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and see patients Wednesday, top to bottom. This week's a little different. I have meetings back to back to back to back to back, starting in 15 minutes. I'm not in the OR today because of the 4th of July. When there's a holiday or I'm going away, I try to stop operating a day or two before, just so I have some, space. I don't want the patients all to, have surgery and then not see me for too long.
Got it. No, that makes complete sense. Okay.
These are things you learn, by the way. Like 10 years ago, I would have operated, I wouldn't have even taken 4th of July. I would have like back when we started, I operated every holiday because people love having surgery on holiday. I operated on Christmas, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. I still do Thanksgiving. People love it. It's like
on Thanksgiving, you're operating on Thanksgiving?
I'm not anymore. I would do the day before, but I used to because.
How many years did you do that for?
5. I operated in the winter. I operated every Saturday for 5 years.
And Saturdays now.
I did for 5 years because I was building a business, building a family.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 things. One was obviously, financially, if you work more, you're going to earn more. So that's good. But 2 was I was building my skill set, and like I wanted to get better faster, and I just had to do more surgery.
Yeah.
Surgery, you have to do a lot. This isn't a part-time job. You have to do a lot of surgery. And I'm talking about a lot of surgery. The best surgeons, and sure it's the same in like 90% of the surgery in New York City is done by 10% of the surgeons. There's like me and like 6 other surgeons, and we probably do like the majority of all of it. And there's like over 500 plastic surgeons around.
Wow.
The busy surgeons are busy. We love operating, and we're good at it.
So that was at your first job. That was at your first office.
That was when I was on my own. My first job, I kind of worked, they set the schedule. But when I was on my own in building, I worked on Saturdays. And I would tell anyone building their practice, like, you make yourself available. One of the reasons I was so successful early, I was available. I'll see consults at night and I'll operate on the weekend because the older guys never wanted to do that. So being available is just like the easiest way to being successful. Because listen, if you go to you get on a plane and go to wherever, Newtown. Say you end up in, you have a dental conference in Philly or Cleveland, whatever. Let's say Cleveland. You land and you're like, I want to get a massage, because I'm sore, and you're new in Cleveland. You're just going to go to whoever's open.
Yeah.
So you're going to call the first place that comes up on Google reviews or whatever that has the most reviews that's at least 4.5 or higher. You're just going to call them. And whoever says they can see you that day, you're going to go to.
Right.
If they say, oh, we're so good, we're so busy, we'll see you in 3 months. You're like, whatever, I don't care.
Right.
Same thing with surgeons. listen, we try not to make the waiting list so long because people don't want to wait. Like I
Yeah.
have friends who have like 2-year waiting list for a consult. It's ridiculous. Like they're just going to go somewhere else.
How long is your waiting list for a consult?
I don't really even, I like to get people in within a month. If they call and want to see me and they, pass a few questions, like I want to see them within a month. And like, if you're, I get a lot of people from all over the world, literally all over the world that are passing through New York and they're like, hey, I'm in town. And like, yeah, I'll stay late, come in early. Like, I do it rarely, but I don't love seeing people between surgeries. I don't like that. It's like, I need to focus.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Did you ever have to do that where you're seeing people in between surgeries? Because
No, we do it, but like it's just harder with scheduling. It's nice. I like to see patients before or after surgical days or on my consult days, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
How often are you off on a Wednesday like this, where you just have consult follow-up days?
Never.
Okay.
No, I mean Wednesday is consult all day. Today I'm not really seeing patients. I'm doing kind of meetings that we need to do and things like that and things like this, but otherwise it's 7 to 7 consults straight, no breaks.
And when you start in the OR, what's your first more time? Okay, so wow, jeez. All right, so directly at 7, and you have your own suite. Is it connected into your office? So you can quickly. Okay. Oh, it's a pretty big space, and you're overlooking Central Park.
Well, we have two. We have a surgical center, and then we have a clinical office. The surgical center overlooks Central Park, and then the clinical office is on Park Avenue because we have 4 surgeons. So 2 are in the operating room, and then 2 are seeing patients.
Got it. Do you ever have other surgeons see your patients, or you're always there? You got to see them. You got to laser.
Well, we have it set up in teams. So like it's like the Dr. Neinstein team has 2 nurse practitioners. Each surgeon has their own nurse practitioners. So there's this continuity where the patients meet my team at the consult, and then they flow through with that team. So they have this trust because they've seen, my nurse Ashley and nurse Tara, and they see them throughout. And they understand, listen, I'm going to see them in the mornings, but I can't see them all day because I'm in the operating room. So you need a team, So
right.
And each surgeon has a team. And we have nurse practitioners, which is an elevated thing. This is not, listen, we also have medical assistants and RNs, but I have 5 full-time nurse practitioners. Like
5 full-time.
That's 5 extra people with master's degrees. It's like another level of seriousness of like how much we care.
Yeah.
And they're expensive, but they're worth it.
Right. They're worth it. A good team, good staff is worth it. Do any of them assist you in the OR, or is it another surgeon?
In the OR, we have our PAs who, hold rake and help us and cut sutures. And then I also have my full-time scrub techs. And, I have full-time teams. I'm not a per diem kind of guy, meaning like I want people who are all in at every position. I have I have 2 full-time cleaners during the day, 1 at each office. They're both specialists in cleaning operating rooms. I have a full-time central processing department, Malcolm, who I got from the hospital, meaning I have a full-time person just to clean instruments because I care that much about the instrumentation. I'm definitely the only surgeon maybe even in the country who has a full-time person just to clean their instruments. But I don't believe you can do the work we can do without the right instrumentation. I'm a big instrument guy. I like my stuff working. You got to sharpen things and reboot and retool, and it's all in.
Right. In the hospital, they're losing those instruments. So that's why it's great that you have your surgeon center here.
The hospital is great. I'm on staff. It's a really important part of my life, teaching at Lenox Hill and being part of the Northwell community. And that, the hospital is and the education is an important part of my life. It's really important that I'm involved and, there's a place that, God forbid, something happens to my patients, I have somewhere to bring them and have a collaborative approach with all the other specialists. Like I know the cardiologists and the nephrologists and, all my people at the hospital. It's not, a lot of people say like, oh, I only want to be in my surgical set. No, the hospital is an important part of a surgeon's life. Like get over it. You're going to be, and you want to be, a contributing positive contribution to your hospital community.
No, that's a good point. That's good. Do you bring resident? You said you teach over there. Do you go there to teach? Is it online?
Yeah, we go there. They have teaching cases. So like I'll go staff a tummy tuck at the hospital where a fellow is doing it, and I'll be there to walk through them. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. I didn't know if you were bringing some residents, some fellows.
No, I'm pretty old school in the office. It's just me and the team. I don't really like observers. Surgeons from all over the world want to come watch. I'm kind of like, nah, I want everyone. I don't really love the show and tell. I'm happy to show people videos and talk about it. But when I'm in the OR, I'm in the OR. And I just want me and my team to do our thing.
Right. Going through it. Yeah. And then that's also privacy to the patient. You're giving
Yeah,
that to them
yeah.
as well.
Listen, the patient didn't sign up for three guys from Europe to watch me operate on them. They want me
Yeah.
to just do my thing, you know?
Yeah. Do you feel like that would affect your focus at all? Would that be
Well,
distracting, worrying about all that?
no, I'd be fine. I just don't want to do it. I know a lot of people love observers and they always have like a posse and a gang in the operating room, but like I like me and my team doing we doing our thing. I can hang out with other people outside of the office, but like I just like to be dialed in. It's hard. I make a rule. Also, like people come from all over the world to New York. I don't know who these people are. I'm just not letting anyone walk into my operating room. Just no,
Right.
it's
Right.
not gonna
Right.
happen. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you a selfish question for me. I'm just about to start private practice, right? I'm just
Yeah.
about to start out. What's something for the first year to 3 years I feel like is most important? You said find a mentor, find someone that's inspiring, that motivates you, right? So that'll be my boss, right?
Yeah.
What's something I should be focusing on day
Meet
one
everyone
now?
in your community. So strategic network. Okay. So almost all the people who end up on my operating table are not people from Instagram, but they look at Instagram, but they are referred to me by patients or physicians. I get the
Right.
almost all my patients are referred by a physician. Facelift surgeons, eye surgeons, dermatologists, primary care, cardiologists, because I have put orthopedic surgeons, I have put in the effort and I
Mm,
continuously do to go and meet. I will walk and make sure I know every primary care around, every dermatologist. You got to go and create these
I like
networks
that.
because, and then you have to honor that relationship. You have to take care of, when someone sends me, I call them, I text them, I send them a thank you card, we send them a gift, and then we ultimately honor that referral by taking amazing care of their patients. And the best practices are fed not by marketing, but by the real work that they have done. And that there's no more value, like the highest esteem in medicine and dentistry is referrals by colleagues. When a patient asks their dermatologist or their facelift surgeon or their orthopedic surgeon, who should I go to? And they say your name, that's it. They're going to you
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're going from trust to trust. If the person they trust trusts you, that's it. But like it's hard work. So if I was just starting, if I were you,
Mm.
I would make
Initial
a
contact with
schedule.
her. Yeah.
And by the way, you got to go old school. You got to like just, I would take like, you probably have a half day a week where you're off. And I would have a big whiteboard and I would literally start knocking on every dentist's door and every dental adjacent, even the primary care. Even I would go to every primary care and dentist. I don't know. It's like that within 10 miles. Like, and every week you should say, I'm going to visit three people. I'm going to take a half day and visit three people. And I would go. And when you go, you walk in, you introduce yourself, you want to walk into an office, bring like something, bring sweets, everyone likes food. And then you want to make sure you're bringing cards. I don't have them right here, but like what I do, I literally still do this, by the way. We have something that like has like my name, what we do and numbers. And I like literally glue it or tape it to the back of when you check in at every office, they have the front desk. I stick my stuff in front of their face, like so that like I'm stuck there forever.
So you're giving it to the front desk as well as the
The
doctor.
front desk is the key.
That's what I was getting to.
But
Yeah.
but my biggest advice, besides, taking good care of your patients, is to meet as many people as possible where your patients go. All your patients go to regular dentists and all your patients go to primary care.
So
Like,
go to the two spots. Yeah.
go meet
Yeah.
them all. And then keep a list and then like circle back once a quarter. Like make sure and then send them a gift on the holidays. And then you'll meet like 100 people. And then like 20 of them will become like your referral source. And by the way, that's how
Yeah.
you build your career.
Right. Oh, no, this is
But I
excellent.
still do that. I mean, I still go visit a new doctor once a week. And
Where
and I just knock on doors. And
that's actually, yeah,
I
yeah.
listen to my
Yeah.
patients. I say, especially with the moms, I get a lot. They're like, I'm always like, who's your OB? Dr. Grunberg or, Greenberg. It's New York. Right. So then I call them and then say, hey, I'm seeing a number of your patients. I just want to introduce myself. Like, get out there, man. Like, get out there. Start meeting colleagues. Like, I get the referrals from so many physicians, and like, it doesn't matter how many millions of followers you have on Instagram, because when the obstetrician 2 blocks down on Park Avenue says Dr. Neinstein's the guy, That's the guy.
I love that. When do you make time for this though? Because you're so busy, 7 to 7 and earlier even, you know what
We
I mean?
work it into the schedule. My assistant Mitch and I listen. I just like always. I listen to my patients. I'm always like, so, if they lost weight, who's your weight loss doctor? Oh, I saw this amazing doctor at
Yeah.
this endocrinologist. Oh yeah, what was her name? Oh, blah blah blah. It just never stop. Just listen to your patients. Like when you see a patient, who's your dentist? Who's your primary care?
Yeah.
Call
Yeah.
them. Hey, we have a mutual patient. Why don't you introduce myself? Blah blah blah.
I love that. No, this is huge advice. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And keep a big whiteboard somewhere of all these people, and like you will create a network. I promise. I promise.
This is really big advice. Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do
Listen,
this.
remember the primary cares and the derms and the etc. They need referrals. They need to know who to send. Right? People
Right.
come to them. They're gonna need to know what oral surgeon. So they need to know what you do, what you like to do, and then you tell them like, I'm gonna give all my patients my cell phone number. They're going to have 24/7 access to me. It's not like the other docs around here. Like I will take better care of them. Great. They'll just start sending you.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to
And
take
then
up.
you got to let them. I know I'm going to jump, but and then then you tell them when you see a patient of someone, hey, I saw Mrs. Schwartz, blah, blah, thank you so much for the referral. This is the plan. And then when surgery goes, you tell them everything went great, blah, blah, blah.
I want to ask you one more too. And I know
Yeah.
you're super busy because I wanted to ask about staff, team motivation, like keeping your team motivated and going, go, go, go.
I mean,
You're in
listen,
go mode. How do you keep
it's
them
lead by
at
example and take the time to, I try to say hi to everyone every day, get to know what's going on in their family, and tell people how much, like, listen, it's not about money. Motivation is much deeper than that.
Yeah.
I'm always telling people how grateful I am for them and how important they are. People, real self-worth is knowing your value, and people need to feel important. And like, you can't, a shepherd must smell like his sheep, meaning like, you got to be in there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in there.
In the
I'm
trenches
in there.
with them.
I'm in the trenches with them.
Love that. Yeah. I always try and go whenever there's like a patient, at least in residency, there were quite a few of them acting out to the front desk, the receptionist. I always try and get up there and say, hey, whoa. Let's talk about this, right? To make sure that they know that you have their back. That's one thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing that you kind of do. Like, so you say you sit down, you talk to them, ask them how they're doing, say hi every day.
The other thing I do is I ask people, what's a real goal that you have? Like, and I say like,
career-wise, personal, professional,
do you want to climb a mountain? And like, again, I'm always like brutally honest because I'm a New Yorker. I'm like, if you tell me your goal is to make $1 million, like, I don't care what it is. Tell me, you want to make $1 million a year? Like, what's the actual goal?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, just tell me. Because like, I can help you accomplish anything. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but like, tell me what it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm not afraid of anything. So I'm like, I can't guarantee it's going to work, but I can guarantee you I can probably help you more than anyone else on planet Earth.
Your energy is really rubbing off of me. I feel like I
can jump through a wall. Yeah. Listen, the coffee should taste better when the boss walks in. Okay. Like there should be a shift in energy.
Yeah.
People like to be led.
I want to ask you, what's one book I should read immediately that
Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday. Obstacle is the Way.
Yeah. Obstacle is the Way.
And this is basically all of summary of Greek philosophy in one shot. Life is going to throw so much crap at you, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah. What's a personal quote that you want to leave the viewers with today?
Success is never final, and failure is never fatal. Winston Churchill. So get over yourself.
I love that. Dr. Neinstein, thanks so much for taking the time today, coming on, chatting.
Awesome.
Nice great to meet you.
I'm looking forward. So awesome. Thanks for having me. And then listen, you got to come to the city and hang out.
Let's do it. Let's go to Fly Fish Club. That's what I put on the hat. I want to ask you if you want to go to dinner sometime.
I would love to.
Awesome. Do you know Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah.
It's one of his restaurants, so we'll have to go there sometime and chat.
Love that. All right, Doc. Send me some dates. I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, Brendan. This is awesome.
Thank you so much. Just stay on like 5 seconds after. So let your recording upload. Is that all right?
Yeah. I want you to need your email. This was great. What'd you think?
Yeah, great. I had a lot of fun. Did you like this?
I had a lot of fun. I think, and yeah, I'm interested to see. I like your podcast a lot. I think you'll be able to really grow things up.
Thank you. I try to keep it conversational, easy to digest, but also hit on some points so like you get to meet people behind the mask in addition to us meeting each other,
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm going to text or email you my cell. You can add me.
Thank you.
But listen, I'm telling you, go meet everyone in your neighborhood.
I'm going to do that.
Like, it's more old school than you think, success. It's like, it's marketing and everything. It's like, it only matters. This stuff only works if like you could do like the real stuff.
Right. You got to do the legwork. You got to put in the work. Everyone wants to do this stuff without any work these days.
No,
Gotta put in the
I want
work.
to do the most amount of work.
That's right. All right, Dr. Neinstein.
Awesome, man. I'll talk. When are you going to post this?
I was actually going to get going on it right now.
Okay, go do it and tag me, and we'll get your podcast popping.
Amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right.